Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone in the USA. It's time for Tuesdays with Tim and Jeff. I'm Tim, K3LR, and along with me, as most Tuesdays, is Jeff, KB8ZWT, and we are broadcasting from our shacks. And Jeff, how are things going over there in Ohio?
Not too bad. It's was a nice weekend. Yesterday, my wife and I spent the day down in Amish country again, Holmes County, Ohio. And on Sunday, I spent the day tuning up an antenna, my butternut.
Yeah, so you have the butternut HF9V, right?
Yes.
And that is our top of the line vertical antenna and covers 9 HF bands.
Yeah.
And with a single antenna. And how's the tuning process going?
Really good. I got 10 meters, 6 meters, and 15 meters tuned up pretty good right now. 40 and 80, I'm under 2.1. So we're getting at it. We didn't work on it too hard, relaxing just during the day. But we're getting there. I have a lot of people ask about tuning antennas and tuners.
Yes. Well, that's a great lead into a subject that we do want to cover today. And I know it's just a matter of you optimizing the HF9V for the environment that you have, the number of radials, how close you are to the house, whether you got some spouting close, anything else like that. All will affect the SWR of an antenna system. And so I want to make sure. I know you get a lot of calls about people asking about antenna tuners.
Yes.
And so I have an antenna tuner here in the shack that I want to show everybody. I went and dug this out. This is an old Heathkit full legal limit antenna tuner, and it will tune coax, or it'll tune open wire, or even single wire. But that is the antenna tuner. Of course, this is the last thing that you want in the chain that goes from, you go radio, then you go amplifier, and then you go antenna tuner.
Right.
And here at K3LR, we're fortunate that we have all monoband antennas that are very well matched. So there's no reason for an antenna tuner here. And of course, most radios, as you know, Jeff, have a built-in antenna tuner.
Right.
And they won't tune the worst SWRs, but they will help extend the bandwidth. For instance, your butternut HF9V won't cover the entire 40-meter band. Correct. Without an antenna tuner. That's just that's the physics of it. So, but the idea is really, if you can, have resonant antennas, that don't require an antenna tuner.
Well, the question I get is, okay, I have an antenna tuner. Why do I need to tune the antenna? The tuner's going to do it. Why do I need an analyzer? I have a tuner. And when I hear that, this little guy pops up on my shoulder all the time and says, an antenna tuner is not a tuner. It doesn't tune the antenna. He calls it an antenna liar. It lies to the radio that the antenna is tuned. You have to tune the antenna. So this little guy pops in there.
That looks like one of our sales guys there, W8B.
Yeah.
It might be
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a real good guy. That's very true, Jeff. The antenna tuner sometimes is the only way, hams can get the SWR down so their radio is happy enough to work. But you are trading off efficiency in the antenna. That's a real important point. So we got some shout outs here. We got Michael from Pittsburgh, W3MLJ. And let's see, we also have from Kansas, N0AO. And our friend Mike, KE3JP from Greenville is on. And my good friend Kevin, KL7KY from Alaska. Kevin was on my team when I worked at Cellular One and AT&T. So he's a longtime friend and a really good guy. And we have W7HU and N4EVJ on from Miami. And it's Taco Tuesday for N8TUW. And we got Tim, KJ4ODM. And Jamie Lee says hello from Billings, Montana. And KC7HEX and W8VIP, KB9QOV. And Sean says, I can tune a fence with my antenna tuner, and I've done it. W8SCC up in Cleveland. Yeah, you can tune your bed springs now. And we know everything is an antenna, but some antennas work better than others. And there's some guys that they can make the tuner so that the radio is happy, but the SWR is so high that the efficiency is really bad.
Right.
So we have, let's see, we got KB1SDK and KF0AFO and NE3F and our friend Dino, KL0S. And Dino knows Mark real well. And we also have W3TMB. Travis, he says there is a great video standing up for standing waves that talks about SWR and antenna tuners.
Yep.
Well, Travis, if you want to post that link here, that'd be great. And let's see, the tall guy, K3STL, says, I really like the ARL's review of the DuoSat antenna. Looks like something new to try and work the birds with. And actually, our sales manager, Scott, N3RA, has been doing just that with the DuoSat antenna.
Yep.
And with 2 handhelds, he's been working the satellites. And Bob, WD8NVN, and from the Philadelphia International Airport, it's WA3ERQ. And Bud, N3TIR is on, and K3SV. And let's see, K5TGS says, that's exactly why I'm not disappointed that the new IC705 does not have a tuner. It will introduce loss. Just use the correct antenna wire lengths. And that can solve the problem. Now, some guys can't do that. Right? And I realize that. Some guys have to have, you know, what they have. And the tuner is their lifeline. Dave says, I have a Palstar AT2K tuner and use it with the AA230 analyzer. And that's my favorite analyzer, the AA, which is AA antenna analyzer, 230. That's the top end frequency, 230 megahertz. And boy, what a great unit this is, Jeff. I find I use this all the time. And it's got an SWR meter here on it. And I was working on the 10-meter antennas, and you see right now the SWR is infinite. Now, if I put on this dummy load here, I've got a little dummy load. Here's the dummy load. And I put that on here, and you can see what the SWR is now.
Yep.
And it's perfect. So it's this is a beautiful piece of gear. And both have their place. Now, which antenna analyzer are you using over there, Jeff?
I'm using the 55 Zoom. And actually, because I haven't had this thing out for a while, I've kind of looked around on YouTube to see if there's any videos out there. And there is actually some good videos out there on how to use these analyzer. W2AEW has a real good video out there on this specific analyzer. And I watched that. I went ahead and watched it just to, educate me a little bit more on how to use it, because I hadn't used it for a while and did have the manual with me. But that was a lot of help too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let's see, we have Ray, N9JA is on, and he says, please explain how an antenna tuner is not really tuning the antenna. That's true. That's very true. That high SWR that's coming into the tuner, you're just making the transmitter happy and the receiver, because reciprocity exists. You'll notice when you're tuning the tuner that the receiver noise and signals are going up and down too as you get that. And here's Travis did post the YouTube link, so that's in the chat room. And Dave says, my LDG tuner I bought in May is on its way back to the factory it went on fire Friday night and took out all three of my Ameritron 572B tubes. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Dave. You know, when you're tuning a tuner, you really have to get the SWR down all the way before you really put the gas from an amplifier to a tuner. Otherwise, it will have trouble. And W3TLN is on with us. And our friend Michael Coulter, W8CI, is in the chat room. Great to have you along, Michael. And you see, Michael, that you threw your hat in the race for the Great Lakes Division Director. So congratulations, and we wish you all the best. We have PY2BN in from Brazil, N6NRO from California. And Dave Scott says, I also have an old analog analyzer, which is fabulous. Love your Tuesday live videos here in Scotland. And thanks for watching, Dave. And also KE8GIP is on. And John says, I have a small yard with an off-center fed dipole, and I'm thinking of a hex beam. What are your thoughts? Well, there's a new ham that's close to me, and that's exactly what he is putting up now. He's got the OCF up. He's got a Buckmaster off-center fed dipole, and he has now completed the assembly of the DX Engineering hex beam. It looks beautiful, and he's just waiting for the guy to show up to dig the hole to get his self-supporting pole up. And so he's going to have a first-class station. You know, that hex beam that we sell, Jeff, covers 5 bands, and it's really, really efficient. The SWR is nice and low because it's a matched antenna, so it's really good. And Bill's, this is AF40D. He says, hello, Tim, your monoband antennas you've recently installed. How much does the tower affect the efficiency when stacked? Does the tower detune the antennas when the tower is located between the elements? That's a great question, Bill. And the answer is yes. But I lessen the effects by keeping the parasitic elements at least one tower face away from the tower. So in this case, the 10-meter antennas that we just put up are on an 18-inch face tower. So the parasitic is no closer than 18 inches, and I can compare the antennas that are on the tower top versus the ones that are down the stack, and there's not really a whole lot of difference. So the tower does have some effect, but you can counteract it by the way the antenna is mounted in the ring rotor. And here's Terry, K3LR is on watching us, and Terry, thanks for all you do to help us out at DX Engineering. You're the glue that keeps us together, and I know you had a club that called in and needed some hats, so we fixed them up with hats and catalogs, and Terry loves helping out clubs, so thanks to you, Terry. And we got Toby, W2AEW. W2AEW is a YouTube test equipment blogger, and he appeared in the spotlight of July 2020 QST. So there's another link to his YouTube channel. And here's Will Jourdain is on, AA4WJ. And thanks for the great content. And we have Ken on from Dayton, W8ASA. And he uses the MFJ 998 with the Flex 6400 and the ALS 1306 amplifier. That 998 is a beautiful tuner. Really, really nice. And so that you've got a really good station there, Ken. And Jeff says DXE is the best by far. Looking forward to getting my TS990S soon, and another tower as well. That's a beautiful radio, that 990.
It is.
I got a chance to really put it through its paces when I was in England last year, and man, it's really good. But you know, these ICOMs. I was working some FT8 over the weekend. Man, it just, with that sound card built into the 7300, the 7610, 7851, it's a piece of cake. Absolute piece of cake to do these digital modes. So you know, it's just and they sit there and loaf along and no problems at all. So speaking of loafing, have you done your summer reading yet, Jeff? Have you
No,
been
I
reading?
have not. No.
Well, hey, right now the deal of the week is the ARRL Handbook 2020 is 25% off. The
Wow.
2020 edition, and look what you get. This thing, I should have brought in a handbook from the 70s that it was a third of this size. Look at the
Yeah.
size of this thing. I mean, you got to put it on wheels. They had to split it up into separate books.
And that's nice.
It's chock full of great information. I know you can find a lot of stuff on the internet and you can find a lot of stuff on YouTube, but I got to tell you, this handbook is the most complete thing that I've ever had, and it's just great. There's a volume 4 is my favorite. It's the volume on antenna systems and radio propagation. That should be no surprise, Jeff.
Right. Yeah.
The way I love antennas, and of course we just got done installing the 12th Yagi. It was like the 12 days of Christmas, and so we had 12 Yagis. 7 of them were on 10 meters. 4 on 15 and 1 on 6, and so they're all done now. They're all up, and on Friday I'll be showing how we'll sweep them. We'll show everybody that live, and I think it'll be a great show.
Good.
All of the old antennas left this morning for Arizona, so they're all going, and they're going to find new life in Arizona, and N6WIN's building a big station out there, so he's got all the aluminum now. And Jeff, it broke my heart, but I gave him my aluminum bone pile. This bone pile has been traveling with me for over 40 years, and it's 12-foot pieces, 20-foot pieces. It's 2-inch, 3-inch, and it got so big. And I had a friend that recently became a silent key, and he didn't throw anything away. And boy, it left the family with a big mess. So it was time for the bone pile to go to somebody younger. So
well, good.
Heart, but it's gone. And
and it's going to be in good use.
And I've made peace with it. So, and we got lots of shiny aluminum at work. If I need something, I know where to find it.
Absolutely.
And we have George on. He says, hello from Albany, New York. And it's W2XBS, producer of This Week in Amateur Radio News service. And it's his first time watching. Well, welcome to our humble little show about amateur radio and how to have fun, and how Jeff is helping people on the phones and via email. And Jeff, I hope we're keeping you busy enough.
Absolutely. The phones are ringing off the hook, and we like that.
Yeah, no, that is really good. So make sure you get your handbook, 25% off this week, the deal of the week. And I hope everybody has a good week. We'll be on Thursday. I'll be on Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon. That's 18:30 Zulu, Thursday afternoon. And I'll have Vibraplex INRAD will be on. And that's our friend Scott, W4PA. And Scott is extremely knowledgeable about amateur radio, a great operator, and he's running a super business. And we're very proud to sell his equipment here at DX Engineering.
Yeah.
So stop by, have your questions ready for Scott Robbins, W4PA, the owner of Vibraplex INRAD, on Thursday. And then I'll be on for the weekend special on Friday, where we'll do more stuff with antennas, and we'll show you some tricks with the AA230. We might even get the Elcraft XG3 in the mix, and so it's going to be a fun time. That's at 20 Zulu, 4 p.m. on Friday for the weekend special. So any big plans for this weekend? It's a holiday weekend, Jeff.
No, we're probably just going to take it easy this weekend, hang around the house, maybe do a little traveling. No camping this time, but maybe we might take the boat out one day. Not sure yet. See what the weather's like.
Okay. Very good. And we have on from Kuwait. It's 9 Kilo 2 Oscar Whiskey. Ahmad, nice to see you. And Tim says, I hate to ask here, but I get all kinds of ads trying to sell me DMR equipment. Can someone get back to me? Referral, good, bad. I know nothing. Just wondering if worth the purchase. So Tim, I would suggest you either email us or you call in and ask for Digital Dorsey.
Yeah.
K8OAD, Digital Dorsey. Ask for Digital Dorsey, and the guys will get you hooked up with Ken, and he is the expert on DMR. There's your DMR radio.
Right here, the Alinco DM MD5. Great radio.
MD5, very good.
Ken will help you get hooked up.
Yeah, and if Ken is busy, ask for Jeff, and he'll get you through it, and we certainly want to help you. And hello to Paul, N6PSE, and let's see. Hi, Tim and Jeff. I'm a Pennsylvania resident. If I purchase merchandise from DX Engineering online and travel to your location to pick it up, do I pay sales tax to Ohio or to the Commonwealth? And so I'm very versed in this. Either way you go, whether you go to our store and pick it up, or if it's shipped to you, you're going to pay sales tax. That's the law. Yeah. It's absolutely the law. And so you're going to pay it. We collect it and we send it to the states. If it's shipped to your house in Pennsylvania, you are charged Pennsylvania state sales tax. If you go to the store, you are charged Ohio state sales tax. So it has to do with where the goods are delivered. Correct. And that's the law. And one thing about DX Engineering, amongst others, we obey all laws.
Yes.
And, so there you go. And we have KQ4BR. So with that, Jeff, another great show. And
absolutely.
Ahmad says, can I use a manual tuner to tune a multi-band antenna, or could it hurt my equipment? Well, you can use a manual tuner to tune a multi-band antenna, but you have to make sure that the tuner is tuned properly before you put any real power to it. It's very important. In fact, you can use like the SWR meter here on an AA230 or any of the antenna analyzers instead of the radio. And if once you get the SWR down to 1-to-1, then you hook the radio up. Yep. So you can use the AA230 in that way. So, but you have to be careful. Mistuning and having high SWRs or having a tuner that drifts. When you start putting power to it, the SWR starts moving. That's bad too. Yeah. So you can risk the amplifier damage to your amplifier, damage to your radio. So gotta be very careful. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching Tuesdays with Tim and Jeff. We'll see you on Thursday with Vibraplex and INRAD 73 from DX Engineering.